news from your campaign press releases in the morning. And people now use obviously websites, social media, Twitter. Although apparently they took away Trump's Twitter feed or whatever, so he wouldn't do anything stupid in the last week or so. But remember, you got to have somebody on top of all that type of stuff because things are updated so quickly. You need constantly have somebody over all of that type of stuff. But you need good media exposure, and you want to try to control the news about you. So sometimes have staged events, pseudo events. You want to stage it where the media has a particular vantage point to take pictures of you. You might recall back in the day when Bill Clinton was first running for president, and all the news came out about his various so-called affairs, Jennifer Flowers and all them. So they sort of staged event, him and Hillary, where they were on a beach or something holding hands, and so they invited the folks to look at them and to take pictures of them. Look at this lovely couple on the beach. But all sorts of, rallies are staged. That is, so in any case. And always have the right background, right? And you want to have maybe people in the background that look like the people you want to vote for you, or you want some local sort of, if you're in Iowa, you want to be in a cornfield. That type of stuff. Okay. More visual stuff. Try to have one-on-one interviews on the news that you can control. Hopefully see the questions beforehand so you don't look stumped. Try to do that rather than press conferences. Because oftentimes, and Clinton didn't do a whole lot of press conferences because you don't know what's coming with the press conference. You, as a candidate, you want to know what's coming. You want to know what the questions are so you can prepare. And you can also use talk shows. We've seen that a lot. Folks use the nightly or the night talk shows, the comedy shows a lot. Organize the day around the media for the best media exposure, so you know when most folks are watching TV, and most folks watch the news at night and all that type of stuff, so you want to give the news time to cover things. Memorize everything if you can, and try to stay constantly on your talking points. Don't try to veer off. That can be a problem, as we have seen for Trump. One thing that Simons doesn't discuss in this extra thing that I'm offering you here is the new media stuff, and I will have another lecture specifically about that. But you got to have a really good website. You got to have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You got to be everywhere to try to reach as many people as possible. But you always want to control the message. Again, I'll talk about this a little bit later, but ads, advertising, they need to be interesting because you want to make them go viral. You can't have just a little simple blah, 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 blah. Like, what are the ads people are talking about now? It's that one dude from Austin or whatever with his wife says, please, re-elect my husband. And it's funny. And it's gone viral. We'll watch some of those. But you remember 4 years ago, Joni Ernst from Iowa, I think. Remember, she said during an ad that she grew up castrating hogs, and that she was going to go to Washington and make them squeal. I'm literally choked up from that. But it went viral because it was sort of interesting. And, I don't know how many people talk about castrating hogs when they're running for Senate. But there you go. Find great pictures of you that you can feed to people, and terrible pictures of your opponent to feed to people. In ads, be technically accurate, even though you might insinuate certain things or imply things that might not be true. So, again, it's not terribly ethical, but some things to think about. More on advertising. Structure the organization of your ads strategically over the course of the campaign. At the start of the campaign, as we discussed last time, it's all about you and establishing your own credibility as candidate. Then you usually move, depending on the situation, to attacking folks, and you move to closing arguments. So And if you know that you'll be attacked on something, you want to get a press release out before you are attacked. If you know that something's coming, like some sort of FBI something, and you know it's coming, you might want to put something out there to diffuse the situation, depending on the situation. Endorsements, you want them. Get them and use them. And for instance, I have here some folks will, that's a sort of old, but some folks vote for folks simply because they like the people that have endorsed them. Or they look at papers, like the state newspaper here actually endorsed Clinton, and some people will see that and go, okay, I'm going to vote for Clinton. But in any case, you want to have endorsements. You want to have people out there speaking for you. Get teams of experts to say that all your policies are very good and solid. Get economists, get whatever. Be photographed in different regions with different folks. So you can show that you are been all over the place, or all over the state, or all over the city, or all over the country, and that you have talked to everybody and their dog or cat or a weasel. Um, and you want to have some celebrities to endorse you, like Scott Baio. Um, that's a joke, but in any case, you don't want maybe I don't know. Chachi, he just Joni don't love him no more. But you want to have, and you want to find famous people to support you that don't have too many skeletons in their own closet, because that could be a problem for you through association. Um, and target everything to the people who actually vote. Generally speaking, this is problematic, and I don't know exactly what the demographics are right now, but people who are 45 and above are the ones that do most of the voting. But you always want to target people who actually vote. I'll talk more about this when I talk more about media, but for instance, when you're putting commercials together, who are the people who are going to vote? What are they watching? Political shows and news shows, so that's where you want to place your ads. Okay, speeches. I'm going to talk about stump speeches later on, but folks still do give speeches. They go from town to town, to rally to rally. Debates. Never refuse one, because you'll look like a coward. But you want to control them, and you don't want to have too many of them. And if you're way ahead, you hardly want to have any at all, because you might say something stupid. You also want to treat debates like press conferences. You do not, you want to prepare absolutely everything and have ready-made answers. And if you don't know the answer to the question, go back to your slogan or answer a different question, a question that you want to actually answer. Because all that stuff is really more about your image and more personal than policy. Hold on to your strengths, cover any weaknesses that you might have. Somebody asks you about some sort of whatever where you did something wrong, say, well, blah, blah, but go focus on your strengths. Trump didn't do this all that well, but you really are supposed to treat the questioners very, very warmly. And you're always so very honored and thankful to be wherever you are at the debate. Memorize the final statement. Try to have a few ready-made zingers in there to make the other person look like an idiot. So, and then that's pretty much it for this very quick online lecture. I'll be probably tweeting some stuff tonight, and I'll have more stuff later on again while I'm in Philadelphia, but hopefully this will tide you over a little bit. And please look at the thread, because last week when I asked you to think about the office that you want to run for, why, and this week I'm really going to ask you to do that first part after the initial paragraph of your campaign strategy plan. I want you to again think about your own credibility as a candidate, assess yourself as a candidate, and that's generally what I'm going to ask you to do for the thread this time. So take care. It'll be interesting to see what happens, and America.